Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nic Espanet, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Flex Forward podcast. Today, we're joined by Vince Porter. I've actually known Vince probably closer to 15 years through my wife's brother. They were friends in college, and then we got to know each other just through getting different social events together, and then also seeing him at some of the networking events through real estate. Vince is the owner of Porter and Company CPAs, and I'll let him explain to you a little more about what they do and kind of what their focus is. I think it's going to be a treat for our listeners to hear Vince's journey, and I'm excited to learn more about him as we go through it. So, Vince, welcome to the Flex Forward podcast, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Can you tell our listeners a little more about Porter and Company CPAs?
Yeah, so we are a full-service CPA firm. We mainly cater to real estate syndication groups. So my kind of tagline is, I know everybody in the multifamily space likes to count doors. We count K1s. So we're responsible for about 10,000 K1s across a few hundred partnerships. So we do tax compliance, client accounting services, and advisory services in that space. And I think what kind of gives me a leg up is I'm an investor too. I've invested passively and have been an LP on many of our clients' deals. So I know what it looks like on the other side of the desk, and I also know what it looks like on our side of the desk for the tax professionals piece. That's awesome, because you know what the LP and or GP is looking for. I mean, you having that experience. You're not just a CPA that's coming at this numbers. I mean, you are deep into it as an LP, so that gives you a different perspective. Yeah. You know, I kind of my sales pitch when I'm talking to GPs that are coming through talking to us is, you know, I know what they're up against, and their goal is really to look good in front of their investors. And, you know, as kind of you can diminish the tax preparation value piece, you know, you're going to deal with your CPA throughout this journey way more than you're ever going to deal with your attorney. If you have to deal with the attorney a lot through a long operational deal, something's going wrong, right? But you know, you've got to deal with that CPA every year. So you want them to make sure that they understand it. And I know what you guys are up against when you've got, you know, 200 investors banging down your door, texting you, trying to figure out when your K1's coming out. And if your partners that you've chosen are snowed under and not responsive and you're not getting that feedback, then you don't look that great to your investors, and they're left in the dark, and it's bad on everybody. So it's helped me to kind of see what that looks like on the other side.
No, that's good stuff. And I've never thought about that, because ideally you want to talk to your attorney when you buy it, and then when you go to sell it, you really don't want to have any conversations with them in between, because only if something's challenging, we'll put it, is going on, that you're going to talk to them in between those two bookends.
Yeah. You know, if everything's going well, things come up, obviously. But yeah, if you've got an annual cadence with your attorneys and things are going wrong, it's probably not a good sign. But every year you got to file a tax return, especially if you got a syndication. So you got to work with somebody that knows the space, knows the language, and can really navigate that for you. So we've built a pretty strong practice up on that. It's a lot of what we do.
No, that's awesome. And I've heard a lot of good feedback about you guys' service, and know a lot of guys that are working with you. So definitely it's good stuff. So out in the accounting world and in the real estate world, there's a lot of competition in those spaces. What's something that sets you and your team apart?
Well, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, we're talking about numbers or compliance. I always tell my team, nobody wants to reconcile a bank statement. They, you know, if they didn't have to file a tax return, they wouldn't come here. I don't want to be their encounter with us to feel like a trip to the dentist's office, right? You know, some people may dread talking to their CPA because they know you're going to owe money, or the CPA is going to get their stuff late, or just don't flat out want to deal with the IRS. So, at the end of the day, it's about people, right? So we want to do everything we can to be proactive in our communication, do touch points, go over and above, and it's knowing what our clients' pain points are. So in the aspect of in the multifamily space, I mean, we don't have to know what you've gone through in the last few years, but I mean, interest rates, insurance, real estate taxes, all that stuff has been a big headache. We know that we can navigate that. We can, get you in touch with different people or different syndicators that we've seen do different things if that's going to help you out. So I think having that in-depth knowledge helps us out. But at the end of the day, it's people. We want to, it's a people business. Even if you got to file a tax return or reconcile a bank statement to get a financial statement out the door, we have to be client service first.
Well, and I think that's important because a lot of times your stereotype of a CPA is numbers, transactional, not relationship. And It sounds like you are really focused on having that relationship, which I think is important because like you said, you interact with your CPA annually and then getting feedback with how things are going. In a good communication sets you guys up, ask the CPA for success, getting stuff out on time. If we as the operators get you the items you need. If we're getting you everything at the last minute and then expect you to get everything to us by a deadline, it doesn't work that way. There has to be some give and take and communications on what you and your team needs to be able to produce K1s in a timely manner.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, you're really, those expectations and those transparencies, and it's in any business, right? You've got expectations you need from your investors. You need them to tell you what entity they're in or what their social security number is, or if it's a disregarded entity or all this other information. And if you're not getting that back and it comes to us and we got to change it, it's a cycle, and fairly or unfairly can come back to look poorly on you if you've got to do it, or look poorly on us. So we want to be really clear and open. And, I put it back to kind of push it to everything in your world. Certainly the last couple of years, some deals that I'm in, unfortunately, some of them are probably going to end up where I lost everything, lost the entire equity investment. We went through some deals in COVID where, we were worried. Nobody knew what was going on in COVID, right? I mean, are people going to be able to pay their rent or what's going on? And I can tell you that the operators, the GPs that we worked with that kind of hid behind the bad news and didn't come out in front of it and address it, or at least tell us, hey, we're working on it. We don't have a solution yet, but this is what we're doing. That goes a long, long way to building trust, right? So in our practice, we want to do the same thing. I mean, sometimes a client might come up with an unexpected tax bill, and that's never a fun conversation to have, but we have to have it anyway, and we have to have it as early as we can. And then we try to figure out, how do we get better next time? Is this something we need to do on our side? Is it something they need to do on our side? Where do we need to come by and align things? So, it's communication is the foundation of everything.
No, for sure. Having been through COVID and then some of the post-COVID challenges as rates have run up, we've really tried to focus on communicating with our investors. And I think most of them understand, there's always some that may or may not. And I don't think, if anything would make them happy, but it's a risk, and we've just tried to communicate through some of those. And we want to over communicate, and we do set a goal to try to get back with all of any questions within 24 hours. And now sometimes that may be, we don't know the answer, but we're working on it. May be the reply, but we're going to send something to you pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a good thing, and we try our best to do that as well. Sometimes it's not just, hey, here's the solution and here's what it is, but at least, hey, I heard you, we're working on it. And, there's a lot of professionals in the space that just have gotten snowed under in the compliance work, and they can't get off the hamster wheel. And we want to be different. But it's, at the end of the day, certainly in in your relationship, clients investors just want to feel like they're being heard, and then you can triage that if it's, a communication standard or if it's alignment of expectations. I think most investors you work with are probably accredited. They're smart people. They made a lot of money. They understand that, what they're up against with the economy and this, that, or the other. But at the bottom line, what you preach is it's still a good asset class. People still need homes. I don't care if AI is going to take everybody's job. You're still going to have a need for this space.
For sure.
I think
going to be out neat. People are always going to need a place to live, and it's becoming more challenging for people to buy homes. So there's always going to be a demand for rental space, and it appears to be increasing. But there is concerns with AI. Is that going to replace some of our tenant base income? But how that will work. So those conversations come up.
Yeah, to a bigger picture, not to derail this conversation. Yeah, it's going to disrupt every industry, right? We'd be naive to think that I'm sitting here today and the way we prepare tax returns or the way we prepare advisories is going to be the same in 2 years or 5 years. It's not. I still, we're advocates that it's going to help us and promote them things, but it's going to be a major disruption. And I think about that as well in my client base, who's positioned to do well or navigate that or who's not. The tenants in the multifamily space, which is a big portion of our client base, they're going to be impacted in some way, but
sure.
You can't fix every problem, but I think that there's still going to be an underlying need there. And I think not to be a Pollyanna about it, but I think the people that I don't think people will be replaced by AI. I think people will be replaced by the people who know how to use AI better than them. And that's kind of the challenge.
Things are going to happen. You can either hide and hope they don't, or you can kind of see where the wave's going and try to ride that wave. And a big part of it, I think, is important.
Or you just buy properties around all the data centers that are going up that need the electricity, right? Because that's what they need. But who knows?
That's for sure. Well, it sounds like things are going pretty well. Has there been something that you've built your career and your business that you found easy that others may have found challenging?
Well, none of this is easy, right? There's a lot of bumps along the way. I will tell you what's kind of been transformational in my career. I've been doing this for 25 years. We got a team of 16 behind me that really drive the bus, and I'm just kind of visionary. But a few years ago, I was pretty burned out and just tired of all of the work. And about that time, I read Traction, if you know anything about Traction and EOS. So I kind of got all into that, and we ended up hiring an implementer. So we're fully integrated with EOS model, if you're familiar with it at all. But it was really a pretty transformational thing for my career to kind of have the structure and the guidance about how to set a vision 10 years out in the future and then build back from there of what we want to become. And it's really allowed me to get away from the operational work, which I was so stuck in and so burned out by, and build systems and processes in place where I can elevate leaders up to manage that work, make sure the quality standard is there, and then allow me to do things like talk to you or talk to future clients or work in the advisory role that we've been. So, EOS did a lot for my career, and it's helped us grow substantially just by kind of setting a framework for us to do that.
No, and that's great. I've got a couple of peers that have really gone all in on EOS. So I've picked up bits and pieces. So it's awesome. So yeah, we get, I've implemented it without truly implementing it in some areas. I think that's awesome. So that actually, you answered my next question. So if you had tips or tricks that you like to suggest that you could suggest to any of our listeners. So I think maybe
Yeah.
EOS would be an awesome referral.
Yeah, if they can't, or if they don't, don't want to drink the Kool-Aid or go all in, I mean, obviously I'm a numbers guy, but in the EOS model, you set up a scorecard. Essentially what it is for us, and we do this with clients on the advisory side, but I would think it works well in the multifamily space because I know it. But set up some KPIs that you want to track. Obviously you guys have a lot of stuff.
Rocks in EOS. Is that the
rocks are goals? That's the whole mantra of when you fill up a jar with rocks, sand, water, all that stuff. If you don't put the rocks in first, you're going to fill it up with sand and the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
But the scorecard is really just a measure on a weekly basis of what your KPIs are. So, I'm thinking maybe in the multifamily space, let's say you want to get occupancy up or renewals up. Well, what are the avenues that drive that? Is it marketing? Is it knocking on doors? Whatever that input is that drives what you ultimately want. If you track that each and every week, you will change your habits and you will focus on what you want to do. And it's kind of a small thing to do, but as long as you're tracking it each week and going through with it, then it can really transform what you're doing. And in my case, like let's say we wanted to get, 10 new multifamily clients by the end of the year or by the end of the quarter. What are the inputs that I have to do, whether it's posting on LinkedIn 6 times a week, or it's going on 3 podcasts a month, or, whatever those drivers are. I would say,
what's first steps you need to get to that end step, that big goal?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is one of the biggest challenges you've had as you've grown in your career?
I mean, a lot. Golly, that's such a great question. I think the challenge that I'm facing now is developing leaders. Like, I've got 25 years of knowledge under my base. My staff is amazed at how I can rattle off tax code or simplify the complex. Like, I hate CPAs that start talking tax code to my clients. If you've got CPAs over there talking to you about code section 469 and how passive loss limitations affect your losses on your K1s coming in from multifamily, you're already lost. Your eyes are glazed over. So the challenge that I've had is really kind of getting that next level of leadership to feel really comfortable in dumbing down the speak to clients, because these people are smart people. They understand it. They could know the tax code if they lived it and breathed it, but they don't live it and breathe it. Just like, as much as I'm involved with multifamily clients, I don't know all the nuance. So if you start rattling off vocabulary that I don't understand, we start losing each other in translation really quick. So we've worked really hard to kind of simplify our offerings and productize our advisory, because I think what's going to transform our next evolution of the firm is not tax return preparation. It is really advisory and speaking with clients. So I have to be able to build systems and processes that the team can execute on that and they can scale it down. And it's a challenge, but again, like going back to the EOS model, you just say, what's the end picture, and break it down from there of what little piece that I got to do each time to get there. It's, the old mantra of how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time, right?
Exactly. No, and it's taking those steps. That's what I think is great about EOS. It's look at that long range goal. Seems so appear very unachievable. But if you go, all right, where do we need to, if we want a 5-year goal, where do we need to be 2.5 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 week? It's just awesome. Yeah. I've enjoyed learning about it. So Vince, as we're wrapping up the interview, do you have any exciting plans or initiatives in the works for the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff. If it's at all interesting to investors, we run a private online community where we kind of host tax planning and events at scale. So as I've told you, my goal is to get out of the operations. But one of the things I really do love is teaching and educating my clients. And it's tough for me to do that one-on-one anymore. So we built this online community. We call it the PNC Advisory Collective. But we've run tax planning courses in there. We have monthly webinars. We've had clients upon clients, and it's open to any of you guys, host and pitch deals in there. So it's really a community where we come together and bring education. So it's something I'm really proud of that we've built that I want to continue working on. So obviously we're still looking to grow, still looking to give more services to our clients that we can, but obviously we're open to anything that we have. But that's something I'm really proud of. And if I could get that thing to my baby to be something really productive, that'd make me really proud.
Well, and that's awesome. I definitely want to jump on and start attending. That sounds awesome. And here in a second, I'll let you, ask you to share your contact information if you can let people know how to join that, or I guess if they can go to your website or whatever. So, thank you so much, Vince, for sharing your tips and insights with our listeners today. If people want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that? Email's the best way. Vince at My Texas CPA, just MY Texas, like the state, CPA.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. But, after we're done, I can shoot you kind of maybe a link to get people started if they wanted to go over there. It's a simple $49 a month, and there's a free version for a week or so to test it out. But, I would love to get some people over there. I'd also love to just get some feedback on it of what you guys need in there. So is mytexascpa.com your that's our website. Yeah. So you probably can link to there too. So that they can link there. Yeah. The website sucks. I hate it. It's in the process of getting changed, but you can still find us over there. Well, that's awesome. I'm linked into Vince Porter. I'm pretty active over there. Awesome. Yeah. And Vince does share quite a bit of stuff. Well, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for tuning in and listening today. Be sure to like and share and, pass us along to your friends. We appreciate you. And Vince, thank you. Enjoyed getting to visit with you. And thanks for coming on today. No worries. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.